show you some basic text formatting. This is our document and we're going to make some changes. If you'll look at the ribbon in this area, this includes options for text formatting, bullets, spacing, paragraph and line spacing, and justification. So we're going to be using some of these controls in this area on the ribbon. So we're going to start by changing the font and the size of the font on this document. So right now we have this memo is in Calibri 11 point. So we're going to change this to Arial 12 point. So there's two ways to select all. We'll need to select all of there's several ways, but one of the ways you can do it is by taking your cursor and just dragging and dragging up to select all of the text. Another way you can do it is by placing your cursor behind the end of the selection and then holding down your shift key and clicking in front of the selection. That will also select it all. Or you can use a short command key such as Command A to select the text. So we have all the text selected. Now we're going to change the font to Arial. So I will pull the drop down box for the font. I'm going to just choose Arial. And then I'm going to change the size from 11 to 12. Now this memo would be very difficult for someone to read. Everything is really squished together. So we're going to add a little bit more space between the lines of text. So again, I'm going to select all of the text. This time I'll drag and select all of it. And we'll go to the line and paragraph spacing. So when I drop this down, you'll see that the line spacing is currently 1. Let's increase it to 1.15. So when we look at that, that looks a little better, a little easier to read. But the text is still really squished close together. So now let's try adding some space between the sections of the memo to make it easier to read. So we can do that by I'll select this subject line. I'm going to go back to the line spacing, but this time I'm going to choose line spacing options. And you'll have many options within here. What we're looking for is space after, so we can get some space between here. Now this little preview box down here, when you make adjustments and you make selections, it will show you in this preview box what it would look like on your document. So we want to add some space after. So I'm going to click this for 6. I think we'll do 12 point spacing after, and I'll say OK. And now you'll see that we have some space between here. So let's do that again here. So we'll go up here to line spacing options. Again, we'll do after 12 points. Let's add 12 points here as well. Line spacing options, after 12 points. And one more time after the last item. Line spacing, 12 point. Okay, so now that's making the memo easier to read. We've chunked up the information. So in a list, we're going to add some bullets for these items to make them stand out and put in a bulleted list. So I will again select all of these items this time I'm going to put my cursor behind it, my cursor in front of it, hold shift key and put my cursor in front of it. Now I've selected these items. This is a bullet formatting. So if I pull this down, you'll see that you have different options for bullets. But if we just want to use the default, I can just click the icon here and it'll apply bullets. You'll see next to it there's actually a numbering. If we wanted to list these as numbers, we could click on this one and it would change it to numbers. But for this purposes, we're going to just use bullets. So that makes it a little easier to read. We've bulleted these items. Now we're going to come up here to the formatting at the top. And again, I'm going to either, if it's a single word, you can double click on the word to select it. And we're going to make this bold to make it stand out a little bit. So here is an option for bold. This is italic and underline. In our case, we're going to use bold. And we're going to do this for each of these. Bold. And again, you can use your cursor and just swipe across the word to select it as well. So now we've made these bold. We've added bullets, spaces, that we have line spacing. But let's add an indent here for this paragraph. So what we can do is let's choose this paragraph, select the paragraph, and we're going to go back to our line spacing options. And this time we're going to do an indentation. So I'm going to choose the first line, indentation, and let's add 0.5 inch indentation. And you'll see down here that this shows you what it will do, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So we'll indent it 0.5. You can also use so these are alignment. This paragraph is left aligned. If we centered it, that wouldn't be appropriate for a memo. Right justified would not be appropriate for a memo, but you could use the justification, which creates a straight line on this right-hand side to make it look a little neater. So we should probably add an indent to this paragraph as well. I mean, this last sentence as well. So let's go to line spacing. I'm going to add first line 0.5. Okay. Now we've created a memo that's easier to read using basic text formatting.